So guys, I hope you have been up very well today. If you haven't been watching the last video, go watch it. Also the last videos. Some traders also contacted me on Instagram. They properly received their trading plans for the coming days. That's valid. If there is some changes, then I'm gonna update it as soon as possible. So what happened? We have seen that Iran in the last weekend started to attack directly Israel. Everybody was speculating during the last week, and then we were very good, prepared for that, and that was the reason that Israel struck back extremely heavily with the new F-35, that one of the newest fighters or fighter planes among the Israeli armory. That's the reason I love Israel, guys. It's not political. You know why I love Israel and Israelian? So, and of course, I love also people who are Christians and Muslims too, but almost I love Israelians. I'm not saying Americans or Japanese or Chinese or Australians or whatever. I'm saying directly I love Israelians because these guys are amazing to develop and to create every day something new. Look at the state Israel. As Israel were the first Jewish people came, I think it was something between 1930 and 1940, something like that, I guess. So if I'm wrong, correct me, but I'm going to research that year again. The Palestinians or people of the Palestina have been living there. So the state of Palestine has not been existing because it was a territory of the British colony. So the former Ottoman Reich or Ottoman Reich, that was at that time the Sultan who was living or who was governing where today the Turkey, Iraq, Jordan, and some other Arabic countries are. And after the British colonists armed people of Saudi Arabia or fighters of the Saudi Arabia to fight against that Sultan, they started to divide those areas into the countries that we know today. For example, then Iraq was established, Jordan was established, Qatar, Bahrain, Dubai, Oman, other countries were established, and that's a British policy: divide and govern, right? That way, they said, okay, so everybody has its own state, and that was a good, really intelligent policy, because now if you have your own state, you just look on your own interests, and your friend has its own state, they are looking for their own interests. So that's the background, right? But after the first Jewish people came there, they started to buy the real estates there, whatever. So we don't go too much too deep side. And then because of the World War II, the Germans, the Nazis were killing Jewish people in mass to the so-called concentration camps or concentration lager. There they have been burning all those people. We all know that. Holocaust. But not only them, also a lot of people who have been against the dictatorship. For example, nobody is talking about the Germans who have been killed in the concentration camps by Adolf Hitler and SS, and also German people who has not been Jewish people, who have not been Muslims or something like that. So then they have been killing everyone. They have been killing gypsies. They have been killing sick and ill people who had diseases because he wanted to create a strong gene, the so-called Aryan gene. That was the plan, right? So, and then the United States entered the war together with their allies, France and Great Britain. They started to fight the Nazis and freed Germans, Jewish people, the whole Europe of that fucking dictatorship. So that was the reason, right? So now back to the Jewish people. Then one day, then the 70 or 72 years ago, they established the state of Israel. And at that time, it was just a land of sand and salty water, but not else. But now look what those people made of this territory. They have been building this state to one of the biggest, beautiful, most beautiful metropoles now in the Middle East. Technology, a lot of scientists, and they every day are building something new. That's the reason I love Israeli people, because of their intelligence, because they hold together and they collected, because of that spirit, because that's a nation of above, I think, 1.2 or 1.3 million people, and getting attacked since years and hold together, right? So that's fascinating me. Whatever. Iran is at this moment extremely silent, and there's a warning sign. On the other side, this morning, the European Union or the EU started to sanction Israelis instead of the terrorists of Hamas. I was looking yesterday for if they had some resolutions against Hamas and Hezbollah. I have not found even one. They have not been even condemning the capturing of the hostages of Israel until now. Not even one little condemning. Not even. Instead, today, after the attack of Israel or the attack of Israel's strike back of Israel, what did they do? They started to sanction Israel and Israelis. Now they are showing their true faces, guys. And you should be very aware of that. That means we will have a volatile in the market now. The market will go down. The fundamentals are extremely bad. The numbers have been released today. This week, NASDAQ started to open very weak. That's the reason, because they await some earnings, and also in the next week, they are waiting for earnings. That's the reason that the NASDAQ might go a little bit higher. That will help Bitcoin to go a little bit higher, to carry with him, but then it will collapse down. It's going down. And be aware of the weekend. If you have positions, you can take them out, or you can, for example, in oil again, I started to buy again more and more, because I am expecting, or we are expecting, Iran will strike back Israel maybe this weekend, if not at the end of the next week. And you see exactly what happened. right? We have Passover, the Passover of Israelis, which is beginning on Monday and will take around 8 days. And I think during that time, Iran will attack Israel, or if not directly again, maybe they are doing it. The first scenario is they do it directly. The second scenario is Iran will on the same time attack Israel from different parts. Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hamas, or the rest of the Hamas activists, and also other paid soldiers from other nations like Chechnya, like Afghanistan, Pakistan, and so on. Why those? Because the general that Soleimani has been establishing the so-called Quds forces, and this is the Iranian force or task force outside of Iran attacking Israel again and again. They have been trained in Syria war. So that's the first scenario. The second scenario is Hezbollah and other will start to send a lot of rockets again on Israel. Last not least, now Egypt is also mobilizing its army, because there is a town is called Rafah or Rafah, and that's very strategical, important for Israel. And Egypt told now if Israel does or put an ultimatum, if Israel is not leaving that area, they will attack Israel. So that will motivate Iran to attack on the same time from the other side, Israel. We will see now if Great Britain, United States will help Israel. So what will happen? But it will happen at the end of the week. If not this week, maybe next week, whatever. And therefore, during the week, if the week is Sunday, for example, choppy or low volume, Sunday until the end of the week, they push up the prices. Everybody thinks, okay, now Bitcoin goes to 2 million, whatever, or NASDAQ going to 20,000. And then at the weekend, they started and the market opens low on the following Monday and week. And we now know exactly how the Wall Street is thinking. That's the reason we focus our strategies mainly based on their tricks. They trap the retail traders or unknown, uninformed traders, but we trap the Wall Street. That's the trading plan, guys, okay? As you see now, Sun Super Micro Computer here, SMCI, Michael Saylor is collapsing now, pushed up the stock to 976, and I told you guys, sell that shit. At the time I am publishing this, it was at 806, came up to 815, but now going below 800. And the same will happen also to Tesla and other stocks like Nvidia, like Micron, like advanced micro devices, which are semiconductors. And it's very interesting because the decline of Sun Microsystem comes just 3 days after SMCI shares popped, after the company is called Loop Capital set a price target of 1,500 on the company due to its position in the generative AI server industry. and it's increasing lead over competitors. So they said, but of course we knew that's everything but only scam. I know Loop Capital. In Loop Capital, the directors are on the same time members of Super Micro Computer or SMCI, so there are the same people, and therefore every time they make a positive news about this stock, we sell that stock aggressively and we finish the day or the week with very, very big profit. And since 2022, this strategy worked 98% of time based on SMCI. And that's a confirmation, meaning you sell SMCI 100 times and 98 times you make big profits. Every time, again and again. What does it tell you? That you are on the right side of the market. So next week they are going then for data. Of course, they are making a lot of blah blah, but we all know now the depth of SMCI is not anymore 2 times bigger than its initial capital. It's growing to 300%, meaning if, for example, the initial capital of SMCI is, let's say, $7 billion, its depth is $21 billion. 300% more depth. And there is no growth anymore because the SMCI or the semiconductor is a cyclical business, and meaning now the bullish cycle of the semiconductor is over. That's beginning at the beginning of November something, then it continues to March, middle or the end of the March, because the volatility goes down very, very extremely, and that means now SMCI and Michael Saylor are done. Also, the Bitcoin, and that's the biggest mistake of him, to put all the stocks of the SMCI connected to Bitcoin, and we know exactly what will happen now to Bitcoin. Somebody was asking me, okay, so I'm holding Bitcoin, what to do? I don't know your strategy, if you are investing in Bitcoin or you are trading Bitcoin. So if you are investing in Bitcoin, then I would say wait until the prices are going very, very deep down. They will go deep down. It takes a little bit time, of course. So our target in minimum is at around 34,000, but I personally think that it will also drop down to below 20,000, even to 8,000. So the deeper you can get the price, the better if you are a long-term investor or want to hold Bitcoin. If you are a trader, then it depends of if you are a day trader, if you are a trend follower, if you are buying, for example, Bitcoin and then holding it just for some days, or if you are, for example, trend follower based on weekly time frame. So because it depends on what strategy you are following, and so we cannot exactly say. On the other side, the volatility is increasing. The VIX is now, let me check exactly, is at 18.64, guys. VIX is up, means risk is on, right? The number, if VIX is below 5, between 1 to 5, meaning the risk of the market is very low, so that's good for bullish trends. If the VIX is above 15, it means risk on. The higher the market goes, the sooner the market falls down and very heavily. And this strategy is working in 99% of time. But I'm making some new videos on that today, and also during the weekend it will be a 5-part or 3 or 5-part video, but I will make it on the title of the video, part 1, part 2, part 3. And in these videos I explain exactly how VIX is, why VIX is very important. It doesn't matter what you trade, if you trade crypto, if you trade stocks, options, forex, VIX is always present, and what benefits VIX can have. Also, we are going to talk about things, how to spot the trends, how to spot traps, how to position size. Have you ever asked yourself, you see now the market is going, but how much money would you put into the market? What number is exactly the best? What number will maybe ruin your account? What type of risk management do you know, or money management? How do you spot the trends on different time frames? Have you ever asked yourself about that? There are many methods that are giving you a forecast how the market and when the market starts to run and also to fall, and also a lot of other questions traders may have. Entries, which entries are the best, high quality interest, when it's time to take profit, when the market shows you take profit but it's best to ignore that signal and to let the profit run, when is the best to add more positions to increase your profit potential, and so on. Okay guys, so first of all, take care of your trades. If you have no trades today, consider the oil market, the deeper. So we are going to, before the close, to buy again oil. So in oil, we are definitely 100% long. And the deeper it's coming, the better, because then the explosion upsides will be best and bigger. All right, guys. See you then at the next video.